Welcome to practice. We're going to focus on a yin-style practice this evening, and we're going to explore um, kind of being comfortable with discomfort and hopefully using that in a useful way for ourselves. So, as always, you are welcome to make the choices that are best for your body and your mind and your heart today. Um, always, always do what is serving you best. And we're going to begin with a little bit of meditation. So you can sit comfortably if you like. You are also welcome to lay down. I'm going to stay seated throughout the practice this evening because this is how I like to support you, even if you're watching virtually or watching a recording. I like you to be able to look up and see that I am here and I am present with you. So please take a few moments to transition. Give yourself a little bit of space and a little bit of time to arrive here in your space, on your mat. Begin by feeling where you are supported. Notice where you are connected. Pause for a few moments and acknowledge everything that you are bringing into practice with you today. We are, in many ways, the sum of all of our past experiences. Very often, those experiences linger in our bodies, linger in our emotions and our thoughts. And hopefully, with the practice of yoga, we learn to be present with who we are, able to acknowledge our past experiences, acknowledge what is happening in our systems right now, while still maintaining a sense of peace. And so begin to practice here, gradually finding that state of mind and state of being where you can acknowledge and be present without judgment, without the need to label anything as right or wrong, good or bad. And we'll move through our practice, giving ourselves new experience, giving the body and the mind and the heart new opportunities, new ways to be present. Begin to please connect your attention to your breath. Feel the breath flowing in and out, rising and falling, the body gently expanding and contracting. Follow and feel the movement and the path of the breath. Noticing how it feels today to focus on your breathing body. And then if it feels right, if it feels comfortable, begin to invite the breath to become a little deeper, a little slower. Continue to acknowledge where the body is supported and connected as you invite the breath to become a little bit slower and deeper. And as you invite these slower breaths, notice how your body reacts. Notice how you feel. The breath is an excellent way to check in with our energy, with our current state. So without trying to change anything, simply notice. And continue to breathe at a pace that is good and comfortable for you throughout your practice this evening. As we explore different movements and positions with our body, it might become more challenging to find this slow breath. As you begin to relax and go deeper, slow, deep breath might bring up things that are uncomfortable or that you might usually perceive as unpleasant. I encourage you to find a pace of breath that you can maintain no matter what arises for you during your practice. As you continue to breathe in this way, notice what sensations you can feel in your body. There might be some very strong sensations. You might not feel much of anything at all. Whatever your experience is in this moment, allow your attention to slowly move through the body, remembering all the different types of sensation we might experience. The sensation of pressure where the body is resting, the sensation of air or clothing against the skin, the sensation of the space around you, the sensation of the pulse, the movement of the breath inside you. As you continue to acknowledge what you are sensing, continue to stay connected to the breath. You might pause for a moment here and set your own personal focus or intention for your practice. And so, my intention for this practice is to offer some opportunities to find comfort within discomfort. Perhaps you have a personal goal or intention associated with that. Or perhaps you have something different you'd like to focus on. Imagine breathing this intention into your body. Inviting it in, accepting it as if it were already true. Good. When you are ready, slowly and gently, noticing every sensation as you move, gradually make your way to a tabletop or a hands and knees position. Really take your time, one little movement at a time. And you're welcome to add a blanket underneath the knees or underneath the hands if you'd like a little extra support. And we'll begin here by connecting the hands to the floor. So you might even kind of walk the hands in place, feeling the connection between and underneath each of the fingers, the connection between the palm. Press gently down through the hands and feel the arms activate a little bit. Maybe rock forward and back or side to side, feeling that connection with the mat. And then shift your attention to your knees and your feet and do the same kind of exploration, pressing down, feeling that connection, feeling that support, and maybe shifting and moving a little bit to really explore the sensation of connection between your body and the floor. And from here, we're going to come into a long child's pose. Yin yoga practice asks us to stay in poses for a duration of time, usually at least a minute. And so you can try this without any support. So you might have knees about hip distance apart, maybe a little bit wider, and then bring your hips back towards your heels and your head down towards the mat. So this is maybe the deepest you could go into this posture. So if this is not comfortable, you might support with a cushion or a blanket underneath the head. You might also add a cushion either between the legs, like you're sitting on it, or between the calves and the thighs so that there's maybe less pressure on the knees. And you can add as much support as you like here. And so as you come into this posture and stay in this childlike position, you may experience a little bit of compression in the front of the body or compression in the thighs and the calves. This is the first position in which we're going to intentionally cause a little bit of restriction in the body. So acknowledge that you have control over how far and how deep you go into each of these postures. You choose the edge that you come to. And so once you're there, stay there, knowing that you can move if you want to, but that we are choosing in this practice to maybe experience a little discomfort so that we can practice remaining calm. Continue to be aware of the support of the floor, the connection to the earth. Continue to remain connected to your breath, feeling it flow in and out. Perhaps feeling it a little restricted in the front of the body. And perhaps choosing to breathe into that restriction. Or if it feels more appropriate, you might bring the breath into the sides of the body or the back of the body. Notice if any areas are holding unnecessary tension. See if you can soften your hands a little bit more. Soften your jaw or your tongue a little bit more. Soften to the tops of your shoulders. Just a little bit more. Maintaining this nice, slow breath. Choosing to remain present. Take at least one more full, slow breath here. You might even make it a yawn or a sigh. And then in your own time, when you are ready, slowly, slowly walk your way back to a hands and knees or tabletop position, removing your supports out of the way if you were using them. And then pause here for any movement that your body guides you to do. So noticing into the shoulders or the back, the legs and feet, any kind of free form movement that might feel nice. Still continuing with those slow breaths and noticing how the sensations change in your body, what you notice after such a long held posture. And then when you are ready, please allow your hips to shift to one side so you can carefully bring your feet out in front of you. And lots of options for support here as well. We're going to be doing a forward fold, what we call a caterpillar in yin yoga language. And so you might just have a little bit of support underneath the knees if you're pretty flexible and you find this quite simple. You might bring a little bit more support underneath the legs. So I just happen to know that my Princess and the Pea or Goldilocks sweet spot is one of these blankets and one of these cushions. And then I like to have one here to rest on. So I just know that because I've done it a lot at this particular place with these particular props. But you might want to take a moment to kind of explore. And as you do that and kind of try out different options, I'm going to talk a little bit about finding the edge of sensation. So we really want to, in these long held postures, not come to our deepest stretch. We want to come to that place just before we feel the stretch. So that as we hold for a long time, our body can slowly release and relax into the position rather than feeling like it's being challenged or strained after a while in the posture. So please make any final adjustments as needed. Support your body a little bit more as needed. Coming just to that nice edge. and gradually finding stillness everywhere but the breath. And again, we find ourselves in a fairly compressed position. Your body may find this challenging because of the extension of the legs. And so continue to stay with the breath. Feel once again into where your body is supported, where your body is connected. Allow yourself to gradually settle more and more into that support, accepting that support, giving your body permission to sink into it slowly and gradually. Acknowledge where there might be discomfort. Acknowledge that even in a place of safety, finding just that appropriate edge, even when we set ourselves up with that care, it can still be not entirely comfortable. And so we continue to connect to the breath. And you might even explore connecting your breath to places of strong sensation. Imagining that you could breathe directly into those places, using the breath to soothe and to calm. Perhaps reminding yourself of your intention for practice and breathing that into any areas of resistance. At least one more full, slow breath here. Again, maybe inviting a yawn or a sigh. And when you are ready, very gradually, very slowly, making your way back up to sit, removing your support, and then taking a moment or two to pedal out the feet or swish them side to side or roll the feet on the ankles, Or maybe you'd prefer to move a little bit through your back and spine. Continue to breathe, continue to listen into sensations, asking the body what it might need, and then doing your best to give the body what it needs. And it might just need stillness, so the movement is always optional. We'll come now to um, a pose we call deer pose. Again, in yin yoga, we like to come up with all kinds of names that other people don't use. So let me see actually here. I think what we'll do is take one leg out to the side, and I'm taking my left leg out to the side, and then bending the other foot in, sort of towards the thigh. So my right leg is coming in. And then you'll shift towards that bent knee so that you can bring that other foot back behind you. So it's my left heel coming towards my left hip, and then the right foot is bent in. And then I always need to do a little bit of a shuffle and adjust in my hips to make this a little more comfortable. And we're going to go forward here. So you might want your props again. And you've got this front leg here. So if the floor is pretty far away from you with the props you have available, remember that you've got this leg. As long as you're not going to force it down further than it is comfortable going, then you're fine. You can also, some people really enjoy to kind of twist more over this front leg. So if that feels nice in your body, you can choose if you want to go over the front or over to the side. So choosing any option that you like, if you can, supporting underneath your forehead so that your head can relax. So again, take a few moments to find your best version of this posture, encouraging both hips to sink down. And if they're not touching the floor and that's uncomfortable for you, you might choose to tuck a blanket or roll up your mat underneath that back hip just so that you can be a little bit more grounded underneath more of your body. Once again, feel the support, feel the connection, and give your body permission to settle down into that support. Acknowledge any areas of resistance in the body, any areas of compression, any areas that might be opening but resisting that opening. Use your breath awareness to send energy to those places that is soothing and peaceful. And continue your practice of non-judgment and acceptance, resisting the need to change anything, simply asking the body to remain here, to continue breathing. And for the final few breaths here, noticing what else might be arising for you. What thoughts, or emotions or memories. Continuing to practice a little bit of detachment, allowing things to come and go. And when you are ready, very gently, very slowly, make your way to the other side. So use your hands to help press you up. You can go straight to the other side. I like to kind of pause in between, again, just for a little bit of that movement. And then again, how I set it up, how it's easiest for my body to come into this is to take my leg out to the side, bend the opposite knee in, and then shift towards that bent leg side to bend the other knee back. So my right heel is coming towards my right hip now, left knee bent, sole of the left foot coming towards the right leg. And then in my body today, it was nice and comfortable to kind of do the twist. So I'm going to set up for that version myself. You again are welcome to come forward or to the side using as much support as you need. And then really taking your time. There's no rush. It's better to get it just right than to rush to something bad. So take your time finding your best support. And then take your time settling into stillness. And you know how long you have here. So take your time exploring the breath, exploring sensation, exploring everything that comes and goes. And when you encounter and experience discomfort or dis-ease, exploring where you can encourage more comfort and more ease. Sitting with both of these experiences simultaneously. At least one more full breath here. And move slowly when you're ready to gradually make yourself Make your way back to a neutral position. Again, maybe finding a little bit of gentle movement in the legs or in the back or anything that you might need. And keep your things available to you. From here, we're going to go into a relaxed guided meditation, but we'll do a little bit of movement on the back first. So scoot forward in your space if you need to, and then either walk your way back or come onto your side and roll down. Maybe using a little bit of support underneath the head and neck here, but try to keep your spine neutral. And then resting your hands on your body, or maybe reaching your hands up by your side, or even bringing the hands overhead so that your arms make a diamond shape. Bend your knees and place your feet on the mat. And then begin to allow the knees to slowly rock side to side, feeling the shifting of weight between the hips, feeling the sacrum in the middle of the pelvis. And very gradually, you might start to let the knees go a little further, but always just coming to that nice, natural edge without forcing or straining. And as the knees maybe start to go a little bit further, you might start to link the movement with the breath. Inhaling the knees to center, exhaling the knees to the side. You can keep your shoulders and your head grounded and neutral if that is serving you well. Or you might allow the whole body to rock side to side. So you might want to hug the arms around or rest the hands on the ribs or the belly to make the rocking a little bit easier if that's something that you would like. And continue to explore this gentle rocking movement for a few more slow breaths. And when you are ready, carefully come to neutral on your back. And you might like to hug the knees in closer to the body. You can hold on with your hands or not. You might like to rock a little side to side or move the knees around in circles. You might like to extend the legs up. Use these final few moments to move the body in any way that feels comfortable or useful. Anything that will help you to slowly come into a more restful or relaxed state. And take your time. When you're ready, you can come into a relaxed position, either on your back or on your side. And so I'll just show these while you move and adjust as needed. So if you're lying on your back, you might like to have a little bit of support underneath your knees. You might like to have a blanket underneath your head and neck. You might like to have a blanket resting over your pelvis and low belly. If this is not very comfortable or feels a little too vulnerable for you, you might choose to lay on your side. And if you do that, I encourage you to have support all the way between your knees and your ankles. And you might add a little bit of support underneath your waist or underneath the side of your body, just to keep your spine a little bit more neutral. And then add a pillow underneath your head so that if you're coming to lay on your side, you're really fully supported and in a nice neutral position. And so take your time, whichever of these is best for you in this moment. Take even more care with this posture as you did than you did with all of those long held postures we did before. Making sure that the body is completely supported, adjusting arms and legs, adjusting the head, adjusting your clothing. And then continue to stay with your breath for a little while longer. Nice, slow, full breath. Perhaps inviting the exhales to be longer than the inhales here. Again, using your breath to move energy through the body, inviting a sense of calm and comfort to come to any area that needs it. And perhaps you would like to keep your breath at this pace if it helps you to remain present and helps your body to find more comfort and ease. Or perhaps you allow the breath to come to a more restful, relaxed pace. And as the body begins to relax more and more into stillness, remind yourself that you are safe. Remind yourself that you can choose your experience in this practice. I'm going to offer a meditation exploring opposites. And this requires us to recall a memory or a sensation that is unpleasant or uncomfortable. And so, if that's something that you don't think is a good idea right now, you're welcome to simply listen and to remain present. Or, of course, you can tune me out completely, remaining completely present with your own breath and your own experience. And so, as we go into this time of meditation, remember your own personal intention for your practice. Remember your own personal motivations for choosing this practice today. And now, please remember a sensation or a thought or an experience that you are struggling with. something that you are finding difficult to process or live with. And it doesn't need to be specific. Whatever comes to you, and allow your body, your mind to remember what this difficult experience feels like. Allow this difficult experience to enter your body just for a little while, continuing to remain calm, continuing to maintain that sense of connection to where the body is supported. You might even mimic or exaggerate in your body what this experience feels like, perhaps clenching muscles, exaggerating tension or exaggerating sensation. And then when you are ready, begin to invite an opposite experience. Slowly release any physical tension you are holding. Slowly bring to mind and to heart and body the opposite of this difficult experience. And again, it does not need to be specific. It does not need to have a label. Allow your body and your heart and your mind to remember what the opposite of this challenging experience is, what it feels like. And invite this experience into your whole body. And then for a few moments, explore holding these opposite experiences together, experiencing them simultaneously, feeling both the challenging experience and its opposite. And then gradually, when you are ready, allow both of these experiences to slowly melt away, bringing your awareness back to your breath, feeling the breath rising and falling, Feeling the pause after the inhale and the pause after the exhale. Feel the body resting. Feel the whole body resting. Feel the whole body resting. Good. Feel free to stay here longer if that is what you need. And only when you are ready, begin to bring awareness and movement and breath back into the body. Gradually deepening the breath, wiggling fingers and toes, and inviting a little bit more movement when you're ready. Maybe rubbing the thumbs along the tips of the fingers, maybe pointing and flexing the feet, or rolling the feet on the ankles, or rolling the hands on the wrists. Perhaps you let the head gently rock side to side. And in your own time, in your own way, moving gently and carefully, make your way back to a comfortable seated position if you like. Or again, feel free to stay on your back or on your side a little while longer. And to conclude our practice this evening, I invite you to bring your awareness or your hands to your heart space, covering your heart with your hands, or maybe bringing the palms of the hands together in front of the heart. And pause here for a moment to notice and feel, to reflect on your practice. And invite in a sense of gratitude for anything that came up for you during your practice. And gratitude to yourself for choosing to be present today, for choosing to care for yourself. I'd like to thank you for sharing your practice with mine today. The very highest and best in me sees and honors the highest and best in you. Namaste.